Today's story is Jesus Christ is risen today. Joanna's story of the day. We went to his tomb this morning, and the stone was rolled away. We saw the truth. We soon would know. Jesus Christ is risen today. So we went inside to see him, but his body was not there. Instead, we saw two bright angels, wearing dazzling clothes so fair. Then they asked, "Why are you looking for the living with the dead? He's not here, for Christ is risen. He is risen, as he said." Mary Magdalene. I saw the stone gone with the rest, but I ran away in fear. I told Peter. He went back there, but my eyes were filled with tears. I went back to look for Jesus, for I could not stay away. Then I saw him. He said, "Mary," and I knew he'd risen today. Peter. When we heard the news from Mary, John and I ran back to see. We found Jesus' tomb was empty. We saw the neatly folded sheet. Later on, I finally saw him while I was alone to pray. I still scarcely could believe it. Jesus Christ is risen today. Cleopas. We were walking to Emmaus, talking of all that had passed. Then we were joined by a stranger, who explained it all at last. "Look at Moses and the prophets, what they wrote about the Christ. He would die and greatly suffer. That's how he'd pay sin's great price. On our hearts they burned within us. Oh, our hearts burned within us as we opened up our eyes, for he taught us from the scriptures how the Christ would die and rise." We invited him to dinner, and he blessed and broke the bread. Then he vanished, but we saw that it was Jesus, no more dead. To Jerusalem we hurried, even ran most of the way. We brought the good news to our friends. Jesus Christ is risen today. Thomas. The disciples were all hiding in Jerusalem that night. They told me Jesus came to them, but I doubted without sight. Then he was with us once again. "Peace to you," is what he said. "See my hands and feet, and touch me, for I am no longer dead." It was written I would suffer, and the third day rise again. Now I send you to the whole world. There's forgiveness in my name. 'Twas the greatest victory ever. Death and sin would go away. Tell the world, it needs to hear it. Jesus Christ is risen today. The end.